Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, or something in that direction. Make your jokes away and let's get into this Turkish black metal. This one's called Zifir and it's their fourth album called Demoniac Ethics. Demoniac Ethics indeed is fourth album and it's roughly 40 minutes of what we could call experimental black metal. Inside we have some mystic horned creature that is here underneath the CD jewel case, as you can see, very nice. CD being just plain with logo and the album name. And then we have obviously the booklet, which is rather thick, considering quite a few pages. As you can see, here are their classic information about the recording information and whatnot, band homepage, so forth. Then we have this rather atmospheric booklet. By atmospheric booklet, I mean there are images that are kind of underlining this feeling. For example, this particular page with no lyrics, that is one of the intermezzos or interludes, whatever you call it, which is a instrumental track to kind of create this ominous evil feeling, if you will. And that is how this whole album is basically made of. Theoretically, a nice attempt. In practice, not so much, but we'll get into that in a bit. Here you have metal archive site for Zifir, as you can see, founded in Turkey, some 2006, and since then some of the members have changed. So it's three guys, of which one of them is quite new, that is, haven't been part of the previous albums. And as you can see, here are the previous members, past members, and so forth. Now, 4 albums in, one split with Cult of Ananias, and that's pretty much how Zifir is summed up. And you have more information here should you want to check it out, and obviously links such as Bandcamp, Facebook, and official website. But we're not going to take a look at that, we're just going to talk about this album, which is featured here with its 11 tracks, 1 instrumental, and the rest are, well, more or less, excluding the first one, more or less a full songs. Now this is a tricky pony to deal with. First of all, it has a lot of good ideas. And those good ideas, excuse me, I'm gonna just move my mic a little bit closer. These good ideas are something that which should have been transferred to a full cool album. By cool I mean very evil atmosphere, very dark, very ominous, very sinister, but which is failing on the songwriting side so much, or so often rather. The thing here is, this is the kind of experimental black metal that doesn't have anything to do with so-called traditional black metal first wave or second wave. So basically, if you're looking for 80s or 90s type of black metal, you're looking at the wrong band. This is all about kind of a modern experimentation of black metal, but still not it being exactly post-metal or progressive black metal or any of those weird avant-garde shits. This is more about exploring the darkness in its own terms, which then again is a nice idea. I like bands being original and not to be afraid of, going to different directions than so many other bands. Unfortunately, when it comes to songwriting, this album has a lot of room for improvement. That is, while some of these riffs and songs are filled here and there with nice ideas, way too often it's all about going no place. Imagine it like this. There's a guy in the middle of a desert and he's like, which way to go? I want to go north. And then he rambles for a few miles, kilometers, doesn't matter, only to turn left and go another few clicks, then another time left, and suddenly you have this guy wandering all about, turning left and left and left. That is running in circles. And to me it seems like way too often this album is running in circles, like being without any direction. And that kind of is a bummer, because, like I said, there are lots of cool, sinister parts, which almost like kind of draws you into the darkness. But halfway there, he's like, hey, hold on, I have some phone call to make. And then you are never actually drawn into the darkness, the dark place. It is like halfway there, and it doesn't deliver what you would kind of expect. Then there are tracks, like for example, this track number 60, An Eerie Moment, which I showed you in the booklet, without having any lyrics. It's a kind of an interlude which would work rather as an outro. It's kind of an ambient type of a track, but it lacks the kind of a feeling that is supposed to be there. It's more like, you're wasting my time kind of a track. And as such, I really can't say I understand why it is there, because I don't. I mean, it's not a good track. It's more like work in progress. And as such, it feels like unfinished. Obviously, it's just one track, but my point here is, this album is way too filled with tracks which seem like rather unfinished. So while the atmosphere is good, and there are good things like overall strong production and really good raspy vocals, they're kind of aggressive and croaking, but they are not to save the songwriting. So while I'm enjoying a riff here and there, way too often I'm like, okay, this is really mediocre stuff. So I'm kind of divided. I'm on the fence. I kind of like it, and then I don't, because a lot of times I'm just waiting for the song to end, just to step in another train called song, which is halfway nice, and other half is like, nah. So kind of a hard album to actually review, kind of a hard album to enjoy, because if this was an MCD or an EP release with only those good riffs, good parts, I would be like, yeah, this is really good, check it out. But now I'm more like, it is promising, but it's not there yet. All this being said, I think this is actually better than what the band was doing with Kingdom of Nothingness. Not maybe much, but a little bit. However, if you want to look, in my opinion, the best Zifir out so far, I would say go with Protest Against Humanity, because that was a rather good album. And I was actually looking forward the band to kind of a step up even from that. Now, I haven't heard the first album, so can't really compare, but of these three albums which I have heard, I would say Demoniac Ethics is in the middle. It's not the worst, but it's not the best, and it's right there. Well, with this information, you obviously go to check out the Bandcamp, because here you will find the releases, you will find some of the songs, so you just click right here, and voila, you start listening right here. And obviously, if you are into the band, you can just pretty much buy it right here, or go for some local distro and do your shopping. With this information, do what you have to do, listen to Zifir, and decide for yourself. Thank you for watching, see you soon, take care.